video. Why can't I get that? No. I'm gonna redo that. Hey everyone, Krissy here with 2 sheep, 1 wheat on the channel that is everything board games. Today I'm doing a video that is a little bit different than what I normally do. I am doing a first impression. I'm doing a first impression on Moonrakers. Ooh, so shiny. I did test the waters out last week with a YouTube short video. And surprisingly, it was actually my best video that got views. It was crazy. It was a super exciting night. If you missed that short video, I will link it right up here and take a look for yourself. It was just like a cute little unboxing video that I did of it. So while I was doing that, I noticed that the very first thing that actually, whenever I opened up the box, that there was a comic book, like an actual comic book. Like, how cool is that? So my son and I were reading through it, and it's pretty cool. Pretty cool that they would include that in there. So, and I also did notice that everything fit really well in there, like the player boards and the actual like boards that you play with. I noticed that everything was really secure inside of this box, and it was actually keeping everything inside. All the cards and everything like that were kind of nicely organized within that underneath. And so once you take those off, all the cards, like I said, was all nicely organized, but all the cards each have a spot inside. Like, it's got the nice little logo that's kind of like engraved in the plastic so that you know exactly what they are and where they go, which to me is like such an awesome thing to do. This actually comes with metal coins. We did not know that. We did not know that it came with metal coins. So we got extra metal coins. Oopsies. But now we can play other games that we have that have currency in there with some metal coins, because who doesn't like that? I do. So the boards, actually, while we were setting up, I noticed that the boards, there's 2 main boards that you can play with. And the way that we set it up was that they were on each sides with the cards inside, just like this. And it kind of made it seem like it was like one nice big board where there was like a gap in the middle. But if you notice, on the 2 boards, it actually, in really, really small writing like this, it actually says how many cards of each that you lay out. It says it, and I think it actually even has like a little picture of the cards and how they're laid out and everything, which I thought was really, really cool, because if you play the game for a while, it's just kind of like a small detail that you might not remember, but it's on the board, so you don't have to haul out all of the books, all of the instructions and the rule books, and you don't have to take that out just to find how many cards that you're supposed to play it with, which is pretty cool. So this game actually comes with player boards as well. It is a 1 to 5 player game, so it does come with 5 player boards, and the top of the player board is actually in the same color that your spaceship is in. So it's easy to keep track of which spaceship is yours and which one is going up the track, so that you know who's going to win, or who's closer to winning, really. It has a bunch of little spots too, and the theme actually goes really well too with the rest of the boards. It is just like a plain purple, kind of bluish color, but I feel like the 5 main colors are like a little bit everywhere. You actually play with dice in this game, and they are called hazard dice. I really like the way that they turned this. So whenever you are playing, right, when you're playing the game and you have to roll 1, 2, or up to 4 dice, these hazard dice, that's kind of like damage that's coming back to you from whatever it is. Yeah. That's just damage that's coming back to you. I like dice games, and I have no idea why, because I always roll a blank. Always roll a blank. Or if I'm playing, I really like Nemesis, and when I play when I play that game and I roll their dice, I, for some reason, always get a monster that comes out, and I never roll to shoot at it, and I always end up getting rid of all my ammo. So with this game, blanks are good because then you don't get any damage coming back at you. So obviously I played this one time. My first impression of this game, I think once or twice did I roll one of these hazard dice and actually get damage. And I think it might have only been like 1 damage that I received both times. So this game, to me alone, I think the dice are my favorite part just because I suck at rolling dice. So in this game, you have 2 options in this game. So the first one is to go out and get a contract and try to win the victory points that are on there. You can also gain cards for free, and you can also gain money, the currency in here. You can gain one of those, not even one of those 3 things. Literally, I've seen cards that you can gain all 3 of those things on them. So that's kind of cool too. Why do I keep saying that? Oh, gosh. So anyway, but the good thing about this too is that you can actually ask the player or players, because it does go up to 5, you can ask them to go in on it with you, and you can kind of barter with them and be like, well, this card, it would give me 10 coins, so maybe I'll give you like 3, maybe I'll give you 5. Sometimes there's like 2 or 3 victory points. What are those called again? Prestige? Prestige? You go up the prestige track, or do you gain prestige? I don't know. What do you think? Let me know. Either way, you can barter with the other players however much you want, right? But the tricky thing is that they don't actually have to fulfill the agreement, really. I think that they still get to keep. Do they still get to keep this up? I don't know, actually. It only happened one time. I actually wasn't able to fulfill. I was the one that was going out and got the contract. I asked my husband to help me out because I was missing a couple of cards, and he was like, yeah, sure, okay, but I want 1 prestige. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, right? So he helps me out. He does his darndest, and do you think that I could actually complete it? No. I couldn't. And the barter that I made with him was that he had to roll both dice. So he rolled both of those dice and ended up with 2 damage on each. So he actually had to go back on the track instead of up because I messed up. That actually wasn't the last time that he went in on with me on a contract. And then, so with the prestige track, or gaining the prestige, I found that it was very neck and neck, I actually tried at the end of the game. I actually tried to go in on a really high one by myself. I thought I could do it. I ended up failing. I had to go down 2 on the track, and then he ended up winning like the next round, right? And I was a little bummed out about it, but I did it. I tried to do it by myself. I didn't do it, but I think next time it would be a little bit easier because we've already played it. Something else too with the game is that you actually get some objective cards, but the objective cards, they're not for the end. Like, they're not calculated at the end. So whoever gets to 10 triggers the end round, and then you check to see your objectives to see who actually won. So with the objectives on this game, you actually, whenever you fulfill them, but you have to do it in your turn. You can't claim it the next time either. You would actually have to re-accomplish it, which is pretty cool. That didn't happen to me. I was able to get of them completed, which helped me go up the track, like I said, right? But by the end of it, my husband 10, and I think I was sitting at about a 7 or 8, so I was a little bit further behind than he was, but he didn't even complete any objectives, which is pretty cool. So it's nice to know that you can go different ways within the game and still be able to accomplish goals and perhaps win. And also with so we played a 2-player game because it's mostly just my husband and I who play the games. But with a 2-player, there is a variant to it where you have to play with the solo rules, which is basically adding like a 3rd player. I can't even remember what they called it, but it's basically a 3rd player. You're allowed to barter with them to give them funds, money to use one of their cards or one of their. So you get to use the benefits from the crew from the 3rd player from the 2-player variant. It came in handy because I still kind of felt like I was doing things on my own without asking my husband for his help, right, throughout the game. And then the 3rd player actually gets like shuffled into, right? So at the end of the 2nd person's turn, it all gets shuffled and everything, and you actually get to add more crew into the card as well. And they all have little benefits on the cards that you can collect, that you can use. But for the crew members, it actually costs the victory points. You have to give them the victory points versus using the 3rd player's any other cards that they have. Those you can barter funds, like the money, the currency for it, right? All the coins, and basically just give it 1. So it added a nice little touch to the game because you got more options. So I think hopefully maybe next time, COVID's been a little bit of a bust here, but my brother-in-law does live with us, so maybe we can con him into playing a 3-player game with us. And I'm thinking that it might even be a little bit better because they would obviously have different cards than this automated 3rd player. But I assume that this game would be really, really fun at a 5-player game, just because of all the people, like all the help that you would be able to get. I think it would probably be pretty neck and neck as well for the victory point wise, and like who would actually win at the end. I couldn't see too many people like straying far behind from it and not being close to the finish line at the end of the whole game. So that was basically the first turn that you can do. There's the second option, so I guess not first turn, first option. There's the second option, which is basically their passing turn. It's just called staying at base. So you get to collect money, you get to collect more objective cards, so you have more chances of getting those points, those victory points, to like throughout the whole game. So you pass, you stay at base, you get money, you get cards, and then I think you have the option to refresh or take a card. Yeah, I think it's you get to take a card out from the contracts. I did do that or twice, and I took out the highest value contracts just so that my husband couldn't get it because I wasn't getting it, so why should he, right? Another thing that I really enjoyed too that actually helped me gain a lot of points and actually helped me with my contracts were the ship parts. So there's a spot on the player board where you can actually add 4 different ship parts. And with those, they, of course, all come with different abilities on it. And I think I jumped on that bandwagon pretty quick because I had an objective card that gave me a point if I had 3 of a specific kind. So I jumped on that bandwagon pretty quick, like first round, I think. I did actually get an objective card that was towards the end. So I had to end the round, or not the round, I had to end basically the whole game, I think with 8 or 12 coins at the end. I would imagine that that is the only objective that would be towards the end of the whole game because all the other ones were just collected as you finish them on your turn. So anyways, those, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the ship parts. The ship parts, they really, really helped. I ended up getting I had 4, I think, all of the same color, and it seemed like those were the ones that would allow me to get the same color cards that I was getting. They were all yellow. I don't remember what the yellow ones were. I think they were the draw 2 cards one. So I was able to draw 2 cards, but I wasn't getting a lot of the ones where it gave you, what were they? I'm going to check right now. this is. There, you can't see it. Look at that. Oh, how cute. So everything's pretty organized in here. So all of my crew members and all of my ship parts really weren't giving me any of these reactor cards that I needed. These give you more actions to play throughout the game, and all I was getting were the thruster cards that gave you more cards to pick up. But I wasn't getting any actions. So I think I struggled there. So tip, get multiple different things that will help you out, because just going with one is not. One is not. It's not going to help you at all. Maybe. Who knows? So that was the first time that I played. I think I'll play it a couple more times. I feel like this was kind of like a review too as well. For the first time, I might do another review on this. I don't know. I feel like I got a pretty good understanding of it the first time that I did it, that we played. I might as well just give a little bit of a review now. I actually really enjoy it. I enjoy space themes. It wasn't as visual maybe as I usually like, but it definitely, like the whole dice rolling blanks, I feel like that was my jam. I excelled in that one. My husband asked me way more times than I asked him to go in on the contract cards with him. And I think it's just because that I was rolling blanks, and that's the only reason why. But overall, like, we actually had a lot of fun. He wanted to play again, but I said, no, I have to do a first impression of this game. It's gonna be my first one. I think I'm actually enjoying doing these videos for the first impression ones. So I did just go and buy a whole slew. I think we got 7 or 8 board games the other day. So I think I'm gonna play a couple of those one time, and I think I'll hit you guys up with some more first impression videos. They're pretty fun to make. So let me know if you guys want to see anything. I did link my Board Game Geek down below, so if you want to check out all the board games that I have, maybe you want to see a specific one, just let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will catch you next video. Wait, what? What is happening? What is happening? I don't understand this.